friends. Hello, people. Welcome to episode 5, I believe. Good, I had to think about that then. Hello. So, just while I've been setting up the stream, I've gone out and collected all of my crops. Looks like they're already doing again, so that's good. Made myself a little bit of beetroot soup again, because that seems to be quite easy to do. And smelted up some more iron. I also took the liberty last time of expanding our little area a bit and finally fixed the really irritating stairs up, as you can see. So, you know, getting places, aren't we? We're getting places. So now we've got all of this space to shove a bunch of blocks. So we'll hopefully get that going at least. Hello to my Twitch viewers. Saying hello to you guys. I can see a couple in here already, so thank you very much for joining me this afternoon, this evening. Just gonna have a bit of a chill sesh, hopefully get a little bit closer to fixing up that. And I know what I did wrong last time, so I know what we need to make that little kelp farm go. Still gorgeous, but needs to do a bit more, really, doesn't it? We'll quickly just check the trap before going back in. We need to make some more worms for this one, because at the moment it's not fishing, but this one still collecting a good amount of stuff, so that's lovely. Don't need to go digging up for any sand or clay. Makes life a bit more simple. So yeah, so this time, hopefully, fingers crossed, actually get into starting to make a bit more things. Hopefully. So, what are we going to do this time? I hear you ask. Yeah. We are going to, let's see if I can shut that down so I can see the JEI, which is just enough inventory over here. We're going to look into making, where did it go? I think it's on, there. This. What is this? This is the mechanical press. We've shown this before, but we'll go it again just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. The mechanical press. Press W to ponder. So this is something you can use to flatten other materials, other metals, etc., etc. So you can then use it in other recipes. And we need that to make the glue that we need to use a little bit later. So very, very handy. And yes, you can use it on a belt. As you can see, the belt actually stops, so you can squish the thing. And you don't actually need a middle bit here for it to work. It will do it whether it's supported or not. You just need to have one here and one here so it can keep moving the conveyor belt. So very handy. So we quickly show you the next scene so you get a bit more of an idea. If you squish it into a basin, you make a basin, you can turn it into its block form with enough material. So if you can turn it 9 into a block, pop 9 in, gets in here, and it'll squidge it all. You can also put a burner underneath it, so if it needs heat in this type of compression, it will provide the heat required. So there's a lot of uses for the basin and also for the depot, but we'll cover that when we get to it. At this point, we're probably going to do the previous scene, but use this here, which is the depot, so that you place things on the depot and it'll squish it, and then you just right click to retrieve things off of the depot. How are we going to power this? That's another easy one. Today we're going to get a little bit more into the generation of power with some of the things you're probably going to be using very early on because they're quite cheap. Is this chappy here, the water wheel. I will press W to ponder this one as well, as though we are actually being, you know, engineers. Hoop-de-doo. So you pop a water wheel on, attach it to various shafts and spokes, and you can get it turning and generating force. As you can see, you've got a particular way to put them that will actually move it around a little bit faster. When I've built these before, it's been about 192 SU. I'll show you what that means later. Once we've got the goggles, you'll be able to understand a little bit more about speeds of things. But yeah, so we're going to give a go at one of these guys, which we will use to power the mechanical press. Because the mechanical press, as you can see, the kinetic stress impact is quite high. So if we're generating a certain amount of energy from the water wheel, it needs to be enough to mechanicate this, to make this work. A windmill, for example, with this, it wouldn't generate enough power to do that, which is why we're going to go for a water wheel. So how do we make a water wheel? We get one of the large cogwheels, and we're probably going to need some shafts. We're probably also going to need some cogs. We might need to make some more cogs at this point, but that's easily doable. Going to need some of these guys as well. Easy peasy, and probably one of those. We're probably going to open up this box again in 2 seconds when I realise I forgot something else. You'll need slabs. So into your crafting grid here, if I push you, you can see here, this is the water wheel. Surround it with slabs. You get yourself a water wheel. So pop that plus button, pops it into the thingy, into the crafting grid, and you get your water wheel. As simple as that. Right? All I'm going to do is I'm going to build the water wheel here. So I'm going to pop it down. I tend to make them 2 wide, but for now I'll just make it 1 wide. We can always edit it later. So you're going to want to make a little box. In the picture it did show using the brass surroundings. You can just use cobblestone, really. I mean, it's personal preference, really, but I find that cobble's a little bit cheaper than using the brass stuff. So we're going to go 3 across in a square like that, but leave this one open because that's where your water is going to flow. Take your water wheel and just pop it the wrong way round. I told you I'd be placing things the wrong way around. Never mind, try again. I warned you. So we're going to go this way up. There we go. That's why I added extra here, so you can actually access the top of it for now. Pop it there. You can see that the grooves in the water wheel are facing the right direction. This is where the water will collect and then run off into here. So if I pop water here, you'll now see it's moving, generating energy. So if I then make a hole here, you can see you've now got access to the spoke from the thing, so you can actually start attaching some things. So if I go there, you can see I can then bring it out here and do something out here with this rotational force. All from that one little thing. Very simple, nice and easy. Permanently chopping down trees. There we go. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. And that it's not been too horrendous. It's definitely been busy for me. I've got an audit thingy going on at work again, so a lot of documentation to supply. It's totally going to keep me out of mischief for the time being. We will see. Hopefully that will soon pass. As one of my American friends used to say, "This too shall pass." I'm sure someone quoted that, probably Bidder or something, but this too shall pass. It basically means that everything is kind of, if you're in a bad spot or whatever, it'll pass. But on the flip side also, if you're in a good place, kind of helps you also to remember that it's not always going to be good. And it doesn't sound really, really depressing. That's more kind of just knowing that it's great having the happy times, but you also have to not mourn it when it turns to bad times, because you've been mindful of the fact that it's not always going to be happy times. Bit of philosophy for you there. I always liked that saying. It's one that's stuck with me for quite a while, because it's generally a good one, I find, to remember. So, but yeah, hump day now as well, with the slightly shorter week. We are already on our way, well on our way, in fact, to the weekend. So very good. And us Brits in the UK, we did also get Monday off for the Queen's funeral. We watched it. As I said, we probably would. We watched it. And I think they handled it very well. I think it was a very good, very respectful service that they did. So. Right. Pop the andesite alloy into your crafting, the cogwheel, the logs that we've just chopped, and the iron saw to make the the kinetic mechanisms. You need 8 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got those. And then we just need to go and find our andesite box, andesite casing. Surround that with the mechanisms, and you have yourself the andesite machine. What do we need the andesite machine for? We need it to make this, the mechanical press. So what you do here is you pop it into the smithing table with a block of iron, and it will give you the mechanical press. We hopefully now have enough iron, which is these guys here. Hopefully. So we did mine a little bit more up after the last stream, just to give ourselves a bit of a leg up on this episode. So 9 of the ingots makes the block of iron, and then we just need to go and remember what we did with our, there it is, smithing table. So in goes the andesite machine, in goes the block of iron. You made yourself a mechanical press. Ta-da! And you get a task complete for that, obviously, because everything comes with a task complete. You've got all sorts of things in here that you can. But yes, we've completed one part of that, so we can move on. And we're going to make ourselves a depot. Never remember how to do this, but some of these recipes are locked in my brain. Other ones, not so much. So this one's an andesite casing and an andesite alloy for a depot. Now, I don't think we've watched the animation on that one, so I'll just do that for the benefit of everybody else. Stationary belt elements. So you can have things belted onto that, and then you can use like a grabby claw or another belt to get it off. You can also use it with the spouts to squish stuff onto it or do various with it. And the grabby arm, as I mentioned, to grab stuff off of it. So these are used quite a bit in the whole operation. You don't need to, because the smoosher that we're going to make now can also work on a conveyor belt. You don't need to, but it's also a lot more helpful to have it. So we're going to go up here. Is it getting? It's getting towards night time. It's getting towards night time. We'll get there. Do. As I've said before, really is no rush. Really is no rush. So we want to have this guy over here along with this guy. So probably the easiest way. So a lot of these contraption thingies get set up in different means. So this one, as you can see, connects here. The mixer, you have to turn the cog the other way and have it going this way rather than into. You'll see what I mean when I get to it, when I get that far. So for now I'm going to leave it there, and we'll just pop some torches around so we don't get disturbed by the local wildlife, aka zombies that want to eat my face. Don't really want to be having to fight against those guys as well. But yes, as you can see, that goes in through there. So all we're going to need to do is link it up with a few cogs. I will come back when it's light so you can see that better. Back to this. So we want to take the power, the energy here, and then connect it to this here, right? Following? I hope you're following. We don't need it to go particularly fast because it is a presser. It just needs energy behind it. It just needs force behind it. So it doesn't need to go fast. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a large cogwheel and pop it there. You can now see this is turning. We're going to take a small cogwheel, slightly out. Hang on, let's move that. Slightly out. You do need to get the right level, so we're going to pop that one there. Why was it slightly out? Is because the cog was actually in line with this box, so I had to move it back one. All we're going to do then is we're going to take a smaller cog, attach it there. So then it's because with the big cogs, when you try and connect them, they always go on the diagonal rather than up and down, left and right. These ones always go on the diagonal, and then because you can connect it sideways with the smaller cogs, attached there. Now, as you can see, all of this is connected up, but it's still not squishing. The reason it's not squishing yet is because there's nothing for it to squish. Pop a ingot on there and it squishes. Press go bonk. And we have ourselves an iron sheet. As simple as that. This is a very, very rudimentary thing here. So shaft to big wheel to smaller wheel to smaller wheel to thought I had a zombie then or a something else, but didn't. All the way into the mechanical press, which comes down on this little depot here and just smooshes it. Job is a good one. Grab the slime balls. We've already got the ingot and the iron nuggy, and all we're going to do is you're going to find a lot of recipes in here now. Sealant and leashes and so on and so forth. There's plenty of different ways to use this, but this is what we want to make. Super glue. So we're just going to make it. 2 slime balls, 1 nugget, 1 sheet. Gives you super glue. Now, I know what you saw just then. Hold W to ponder. You're going to get sick of this, honestly. Well, promise. So it can be used between any 2 blocks, and those 2 blocks then will stick together. So when it moves all of them, and not just the ones on the machine. You can also remove the glue, so you can right click it to remove the glue. As you can see then, you've got this weird contraption going around, which is why we needed it earlier to glue things on. We need it to glue the mechanical harvesters on, for example. Otherwise it wouldn't work. The mechanical harvesters would stay where they were put, and nothing else would really happen. So, windmill bearing. The windmill. What did we do wrong with the windmill? Before I go upstairs, let's see if we've got the materials required to make the goggles, because the goggles make things a lot easier. Engineer's goggles, there we go. So we need 1 golden sheet, some glass and some string to make this. Engineer's goggles. So you can then use these to read the kinetic information. It also shows colour indicators, the speed of things going, the stresses on the item. So it's really kind of one of those things that you definitely need to make with this mod pack, just so you know what you're looking at. Otherwise you're just kind of batting around in the dark. So we're going to melt up some of the gold so we can get one of those going. Probably also some sand, because we do need to have some sand in there. I'll take 6. Okay. Let's quickly melt up the sand and make glass. So let's go over to our original watermill, and I'll see if I can place down some logs so I can stand for a bit and actually talk about it. Go away, but glass, kelp in the way. Right. What did we do wrong with this last time? We didn't include something for this to connect to. So this is connected to the windmill bearing, but the windmill bearing needs the mechanical bearing attached to it for that to work, which is why it's not turning. So the thing is basically turning in there and I guess grinding against this, so that won't work. We need to make one of these guys, mechanical bearing. So if I boop that one, you can see the recipe isn't too expensive. Needs a turntable, some ingots, a shaft, and 1 more, and andesite casing. Not too expensive. This will help it move. So if I hold W, I told you you're going to get sick of the W's. So it attaches things in front of them. That is what we need to attach to the rest of it, so we can attach the limbs to the kelp farm. Just taking a sip of my Sprite. I have definitely got a cold coming or something. So we need to make one of those in order to get this whole thing to work. We've got quite a heavy day in terms of machinery and stuff, so we'll go slowly. Hopefully you guys can keep up, and if I do go too fast, you can always let me know and I will take it back a few steps and go over it again. So as mentioned, 2 andesite alloys, 1 shaft, 1 andesite casing, and the turntable. The turntable was another simple one to make. Let's see if I can find it there. Which was just a shaft and a slab would make that turntable. So we're going to make the mechanical bearing there. That should be all we need to get this thing going. Because once I connect it and right click, it should then start turning as well. So if I pluck this there and right click, yep. So right click the bearing with an empty hand to attach the structure you just built in front of it. You can now see the bottom part of that, where I stuck it to, the birch log, is now moving. It's all moving at the same speed, so if this is going slow, this will go slow as well. There's no cogs used here to make it go faster. A simple right click stops it. So we're just going to take this guy off. Probably leave that guy on actually, because that's a handy thing to stand on while we get this thing sorted out. There we go. Simples. Oh. Sir? Hi. Do you see them? I see them. Please don't. Oh, you've got an enchanted crossbow as well. Please no. I'm busy. Go away. Go away. I don't want to fight you. What is it with their problem? Honestly, illagers. Ugh. Right. So we have our radio accessory. That was what we're going to use to attach the things to, so we can actually get things moving around. So you've got this that will then spin. That'll be the main column. We'll then attach some logs to it, so that then as it goes round, you've got the, or planks even, as it goes round, you have the mechanical ploughs attached to it. So we need that. We probably don't need it to go down too far, but I have extra if we need. And we need these mechanical harvesters. We're also going to need a box, because once it's been harvested, it will go into the box. Simple. Well, I say simple. It's probably not that simple. But this is pretty much the first machine, the kelp farm, that we've been trying to get going. Where are those villagers? Okay, it looks like they might be clearing off, maybe. Yeah, it looks like they might be clearing off. I think we're good. Don't want to fight those just yet, thanks. So, back to the water and the windmill. I mean, they're sort of going away. I think the leader's stuck. Never mind. So we're just going to pop these guys down here. We're probably going to go there, because then when it comes round, we want this block here basically to be where the box sits. So we're going to go one more down and then start attaching things. And you'll see what I mean if I right click. Making me paranoid, guys. Stop it. If I right click the bearing, you'll see now the sachet that we've attached is now completely moving underneath the water. I'm going to jump into the water just so you can see that as well. It's slowly trotting its way around, so you then have that part of the machine working. Right click to send it back to its set point. And let's take our planks and our glue. And then we're going to go, I would reckon 2, maybe 3 out. We only have 2 mechanical harvesters for now, but we'll be able to make more later. Chuck some glue here. And some glue on that one. It will work underneath the water, so you're fine. And we're going to go 1. Remember to glue them all. 2, 3. And it's already getting me into night time. And they've still not cleared off. Amateurs. Right. Glue on the top bit. Attach the chest. Simple. So then this is where the kelp that is being generated will go into. And here. Oh, they didn't go away. Oh well. And because this is turning this way, as per the sails up there, it's going to go anti-clockwise. we want to pluck the out the way kelp. We want to pluck the glue on this side so that as it comes round, it's harvesting and not just whacking it with the beam. And we're going to plop one there and one there. These can't be waterlogged. That doesn't annoy me. Oh, hello to my friend Robin, has just joined us in the channel as well. So, quick refresher. We've now got the windmill into the windmill bearing, into the mechanical bearing, which is what's going to make it all move around. And we've glued on these wooden bits and the chest. These mechanical harvesters here are going to go round and collect the kelp as it goes. And then basically we can just leave it do its thing. Eventually we will add some machines so that we can collect the kelp off to the side. Eventually. Not right now. That's a little bit too advanced, but yeah. This is the crux, basically, of the kelp generator. So if we right click this and pray that we did it right. We did it right! Hey! Although we probably need to move that. There we go. And you've just seen it's just chopped the first bit of kelp. I might need to plant some more because at the moment it's just a bit of a mess down there. But at least we've got it so we don't have to go search for it. So it chops it up. And as it chops it up, it will be putting it into this box here that I'm stood on at the moment. Yes, you can ride on these things. You won't fall through it. Although these do go through blocks. So if I built this next to that cliff there, for example, it would just go through the wall like it didn't exist. So you never need to worry too much about that. We'll let it do one full rotation. I'll stop it and you can see that it gathered some kelp. Hopefully. Meanwhile, still watching those illagers over there. Go away. Go away. Don't want to see you. The only downside to this contraption, and because it moves so slowly, is if the kelp is above where it is currently harvesting, it will only take the one that it harvests, not the one above it. Which is why you can see a few bits of kelp in here at the moment, because they've grown taller than the machine would actually gather. So as it grows, as it keeps going, it will only be at a certain height anyway, so less problem. Right, we're all the way around. Right click that so it resets it. Open the box, and you can see the kelp that it harvested popped it into this box. But yeah, we're going to make the goggles, and then you can actually see some of the stuff I'm talking about. So, unfortunately, they can't merge with your helmet, so you do need to sacrifice some armour in order to use it. But once you've used it for the first time, you will realise how helpful it is, because it's invaluable. So, if I come up here and hover over this, 192 SU. So this is the speed it's spinning at. So then if you have a look over here, you don't get the information on the cogwheels, but you do get it on the press. So at the moment, this is generating 192, and this is using 192 of that amount. So it'll divide it up between the machines. You can get to a point where the machine is not generating enough energy for the contraptions you've attached to it. It doesn't blow up, thankfully, not like some of the other mod packs I have played. Things do like to explode. It will just stop. It'll just jam up. And then you'll just have to take some of it down. You'll probably see that happen at some point because I'm a criminal for it. Quite a heavy episode on create this time. We've made a new water wheel and the presser, the basin and the depot, and we've shown both of them working. We also made the mechanical bearing, which was the missing element to our kelp farm, which is now actually working. Ta-da! We also got in some mining, and I actually managed to cook some more beetroot soup, which is apparently the staple of the diet at the moment, is beetroot soup. I did also harvest some coffee, so at some point we're going to figure out how to make coffee. As Robin says, lovely process. Lovely progress. It is of this mod pack, it's a lot more of a slower start, but once you get going, once you start having all of these automated contraptions, it really does kind of rocket off, which is no pun on the fact that this is a race to the moon. Yeah, it's a thing. Right, before we go, we're going to go squish a duck. For good luck, rub the rubber ducky. Meep, meep. Meep, meep. Thank you very much all for joining me. Slightly shorter episode tonight, but we got a lot done. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the week. Like I say, it's hump day, so all downhill now until the weekend. But I will see you all on Friday. Thank you very much. Good night.